Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. So this village of Kulina Gram was very, very dear to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya said that even the dogs in this dham are very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when you see the dogs here, remember, they're very dear to Lord Chaitanya. And what to speak of the residents of this place? Because the people in this village, they're all descendants from a very great devotee named Gunaraj Khan. And it happened, every year when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was living in Jagannath Puri, the people from here, they would all go to Puri. They would all go for Rath Yatra. Just at this time of the year, just coming up to Rath Yatra, we just had Snan Yatra a few days ago. So, right after Snan Yatra, maybe even before Snan Yatra, the devotees would have to leave from Bengal to be able to reach Puri in time for the Rath Yatra festival. So that each of the different villages would all go. Shantipur people would all go, and Sriracha people would all go, and here also the villagers from here would all go. And Lord Chaitanya would meet with each of these different villages, all the people from the different villages, they'd come and meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Lord Chaitanya would give them all instructions and blessings. Just like the people from this village here, headed by Satyaraj Khan, they were told by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
They were told by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they should bring every year silk ropes, big silk ropes to pull the chariot of Lord Jagannath. So that was their specific service. It's mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, how every year they would come with the silk ropes for pulling Lord Jagannath. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke about Gunaraj Khan, and he said that he has purchased Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gunaraj Khan, he wrote a book which was considered the first book of poetry in Bengali, and he wrote it like even before the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared in 1486, so it was like 1470s, it was just like 10 years or more before Lord Chaitanya appeared in the world. And he wrote a book called Sri Krishna Vijay. And in that book, he had revealed, Gunaraj Khan had revealed his transcendental love for Lord Krishna. We have to understand that Bengal, and most of India, people were worshipping a lot of demigods. It was Durga Puja and Kali Puja and this Deva and that Deva. But Gunaraj Khan, he was a great devotee of Lord Krishna. And he had revealed that in his book, Sri Krishna Vijay. And it's written in the Chaitanya Charitamrita that this book is written in very simple language. And it says even the most uneducated common man can understand this book because it's written in a very simple language. And in that book, he had written one sentence where he said, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Pranana. Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Pranana. In other words, Lord Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj, is my life and soul. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated this sentence so much. He said that by saying like this in his book, he has purchased Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, because of the people of Kulina's Gram's connection with this Gunaraj Khan, they're all very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they're all blessed. They're all understood to be very nice devotees of Lord Krishna. So every year they would go to Jagannath Puri to take part in the Rath Yatra. And in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it describes how there was one son of Gunaraj Khan. His name was Satya Raj Khan. And there was another Ramananda Vasu. What was his connection? He was the son of Satyaraj Khan. Anyway, one of the family, another one called Ramananda Vasu. The two of them, they went to meet Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they came before Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Charitamrita describes how they said to Lord Chaitanya that we're in householder life and we're materialistic people. How can we ever make advancement? Tell us how we can progress in spiritual life. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told them, you should incessantly chant the holy name of Krishna, and you should worship Krishna and all the devotees of Krishna, the Vaishnavas. So on hearing this instruction, then Satyaraj Khan asked to Lord Chaitanya, he said, how can we recognize who is the devotee of Krishna? How can we recognize who is actually the Vaishnava? And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied that anyone who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna one time, he should be considered a Vaishnava. You should consider him to be the devotee of the Lord. Even they've just begun to chant the holy name. They've chanted only one time, but they should be considered to be devotees. And in the purport to this section, Prabhupada quotes from Upadesh Amrita, how Rupa Goswami said similar things. And Upadeshamrita, it says, Krishneti Yashya Giritam Manasadrayeta. Right? One should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Krishna. In Upadeshamrita, Rupa Goswami begins like that. One should mentally honor a devotee who chants the holy name of Krishna. One should offer obeisances to one who has undergone spiritual initiation and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve a devotee who is fixed in undeviating devotional service and is free from the propensity to criticize others. So in this way, Rupa Goswami describes the junior devotee, the intermediate devotee, and the senior or advanced devotee. So similarly, when Lord Chaitanya was asked how to recognize a devotee of the Lord, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first of all said, anyone who chants the holy name even one time, they should be considered to be a Vaishnava, a devotee, and we should respect them. Of course, we should understand there is quality in chanting the holy name. So, when we say chant the holy name one time, it could be that we want to chant the holy name purely, without offense. That the chanting is done without any offenses. So then the pure holy name can deliver one from all sinful activities. No matter how many sins one may have performed in this life and in previous lives, but if one chants the pure holy name of the Lord, it can destroy unlimited amounts of sins. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu encouraged the devotees. However, the devotees then left, they came back here to their village, and then the next year came again for Rath Yatra, and again they all went to Jagannath Puri, and they went to see Mahaprabhu. And at that time, they again asked Mahaprabhu, how can we recognize a Vaishnava? And Mahaprabhu looked at them and smiled, and he said, one who is constantly chanting the holy name, he should be understood to be a Vaishnava. So you can see a difference from the previous year. The previous year, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, chant the holy name one time. But then, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, one who is constantly chanting the holy name. Mahaprabhu's Shikshastikam says also like that, right? Kirtaniya Sada Hari. Always chant, constantly chant the holy name. Constant chanting of the holy name is a sign of the intermediate devotee. One who is on the intermediate level, Madhyama Adhikari. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the Madhyama Adhikari is described that he will offer his worship to the Supreme Lord. He will associate with those who are devotees, those who are like his peers. He will associate with them, and he will give mercy to the innocent, and he will avoid those who are atheistic or blasphemers. This is a vision of the Madhyama Adhikari. Madhyama Adhikari is considered to be the position which one should adopt if one wants to actually preach, to distribute Krishna consciousness. In distributing the message of Krishna, it's required to make some distinction. We make a distinction. Who is qualified to receive the holy name and who is not? On the beginner's level, the Kanista level, he simply sees God in the deity. So he won't preach. He simply thinks God's only in the temple, is only in the deity, and he doesn't see the Lord in the heart of other living entities. So that's the neophyte level. But the Madhyama level is to see Krishna in the heart of the innocent person and to think how to awaken them, how to bring them to Krishna consciousness. And he sees Krishna's also in the heart of the envious and the blasphemers. But he knows they're not yet ready to receive the mercy of Krishna. So he will avoid them. He won't try to preach them. Because he knows if he tries to say anything to them, they'll just become more offensive. So, again, another year later, the devotees came again, and they came to Jagannath Puri, and they came to Mahaprabhu, and again they inquired how to recognize a Vaishnava. And this time, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, that person who simply by seeing him makes other people chant Hare Krishna, he is a Vaishnava. So in this way, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was explaining the different levels of the devotee. There is a Vaishnava, Vaishnavatara, and Vaishnava Atama. That's the junior, the intermediate, and the senior are the topmost devotee. On the topmost level, that devotee sees everyone engaged in Krishna's service. And he's constantly chanting the holy name, and but he doesn't preach, because he's on the topmost level. He thinks everyone else is already engaged in Krishna's service. No need to preach. And he will just simply engage in his own spiritual practice. So that is the topmost level. But sometimes the devotees who are on the topmost level, they'll come down to the intermediate level for the sake of preaching, for the sake of distributing Krishna consciousness. Just like devotees, like Prabhupada. He could have stayed in Vrindavan and just did his bhajan. But he came to the West and he came to distribute Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he would speak on the level of the topmost devotee, and sometimes he would speak on the level of the intermediate devotee. He would make distinctions sometimes. For the sake of preaching, you have to make distinction. So, Prabhupada was preaching one time in Indore. There was a Gita Bhavan there. And Prabhupada had been invited there to give lectures. So Prabhupada was giving class there. And Prabhupada was criticizing people, calling people rascals and so on, you know. Prabhupada sometimes would speak out his disapproval of certain activities which people would do. So one man got a bit upset and he said, your guru, he should see everyone equally, but he's criticizing people. He should see everyone equally. Because in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. He said, I'm equal to everyone. He said, so your guru, he should see everyone equally. And so it came to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada replied to the man, he said, I am not on that level. So then the man kept quiet. But then the devotees were preaching to the man. And the devotees were explaining to the man. They said, you know, Srila Prabhupada is spreading the message of the Bhagavad Gita all over the world. He is going all over the world to teach the Bhagavad Gita. So when the man heard this, he said, oh, he said, that is wonderful. He said, that is very nice. So the man understood what is real equality. That real equality is to give everyone the chance to hear the Bhagavad Gita. Of course, not everyone is able to accept, but still Prabhupada would preach. And for those people who were serious, then Prabhupada would encourage them. So Gunaraj Khan and all of his family, they are all blessed. that they were all great devotees of Lord Krishna. It is said Gunaraj Khan, he wrote a commentary on the 10th canto and the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam. And he wrote it also in very simple language so that ordinary common people could also understand. You know, some people would write their commentaries, they would write their books, nobody could understand. They would write on such a high level, such philosophy, deep philosophy, no one could understand. But Gunaraj Khan was not that kind of devotee, that he wrote his books in the glorification of Krishna in such a manner that everyone could understand, even the local Bengali people. They appreciated so much. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu honored all the people from this Kulina Gram, that because they're all connected with Gunaraj Khan, they're all blessed and they're all very, very dear to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this pastime is narrated there in the Chaitanya Charitamrita and Madhya Lila. Took place in Jagannath Puri. They would all go to Jagannath Puri and they would meet there with Lord Chaitanya. And it was there they asked these questions to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he replied to them, explaining the different levels of devotees. Now, somebody may be on the neophyte platform, but it does not mean they will always be on that platform. It can be that they're just beginning. And one who is on the neophyte platform, he can make progress and he can become also Madhyama and Uttama. He can make advancement simply by following the instructions of the bona fide spiritual teachers and hearing the message of the scriptures from the devotees. So everyone can make progress in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is dynamic. It's not that we just stay on the one level, but rather we will progress by hearing and chanting and through the association of devotees. We begin by chanting. Just like Rupa Goswami describes how in the beginning people don't have taste to chant, but gradually that taste awakens as they continue to chant. The example is given about the person with jaundice, that he cannot taste the sweetness of the sugar candy. But if he goes on chewing the sugar candy, gradually the liver will recover and he will become healthy and he will taste the sweetness. So in the same way, we cannot taste the sweetness of the holy name initially. But if we keep chanting, we continue to chant, then gradually we will make progress and we will come to know more of the power of the holy name and the glories of the Lord. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught all the devotees the different levels of the devotees. That there's the junior devotee or the Kanishta who simply sees God in the temple. Like people come to temple, they see the deity. And then they go away outside, smoke bidis, drink alcohol and do so many things. They may do bad things. But somehow they see God in the temple. They have respect. The Lord is there in the deity. And then the Madhyama devotee, he is more advanced. He sees God also in the innocent people and he tries to awaken them to Krishna consciousness. And on the topmost level, we see Krishna in everyone, in everything. Krishna everywhere. And we're just inspired to keep chanting the holy name and to see everyone engaged in Krishna's service. So different devotees, different levels of consciousness. Prabhupada explains these different levels. He said in one place, he said, it's a question of one's faith and also knowledge. Some people have weak faith. So junior devotee has weak faith. Kanishta devotee has more faith. Oh no, Kanishta devotee is weak faith, but Madhyama devotee, he has stronger faith, but not much knowledge. The junior devotee, not much faith and not much knowledge. The Madhyama devotee, good faith, but not much knowledge. He cannot defeat arguments. But the topmost devotee, he has strong faith and good knowledge, and he can defeat the arguments as well. But then in another place, Srila Prabhupada explains the different levels of devotees based on their love and attraction to Krishna. There's different degrees of feeling attraction, the mood of devotion towards Krishna. So in the beginning one has a little, just slight attraction, but that attraction will increase more on the Madhyama level, and then on the topmost level, one is fully absorbed and attracted in Krishna consciousness. He has that pure love. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recognized that this Gunaraj Khan, he had that ecstatic love for Krishna by his statement, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Pranana, that the son of Nanda Maharaj, Krishna, is my life and soul. And because Gunaraj Khan said like this, he won the heart of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu blessed all the devotees from this village, and that even the dogs here are very dear to him. Hare Krishna.